To me, this question of more is about what exactly it is that we want more of, and what we need to give up to get that, to reprioritize and to slow down in the things that we've been maybe obsessing over and being busy in, and just to take the time and the space that we need to grow, both individually and as a society. So to me, I think what is most important is finding balance in every means of that, or in every sense of that word. Balance between our passions and our families and our friends, and finding time for all the things that are important, and not losing sight of what it really is that we're trying to do. I think having worked in fields that are advancing quite quickly, we can really lose sight of that when we move too quickly and we forget why it is that we're doing what we're doing. So I think it's important to keep a hold of why we're really doing all of this. And for me, I'm really interested in inspiring other people to think about how to do things a bit differently, to maybe take a different path and try doing something that maybe seems like it would be slow, or it would be inefficient, or not very pragmatic, but that actually leads you to somewhere that you never saw coming. And hopefully, if I can encourage more people to take that path, then we can go in a better direction. Both, but in a different way. I think more. There's an obsession. There is an obsession with more technology nowadays, and there's this continual, new releases of new phones and new hardware and new devices. But it's often, it's often incremental and not really that beneficial. It gets us to buy a new phone or something like that, but it doesn't really it doesn't really solve the things that we're hoping it'll solve. So I think rather than more technology, it's thinking more about what is the technology that we really need, and what kind of technology can enable us to connect in person, and connect in more genuine ways. Oh yes, well absolutely, and especially now, as we're coming out of a pandemic and starting to like this night has allowed us to do, to come back together and start to exchange ideas more. I think, social connection is sorely lacking, and despite the fact that we have all these tools like Facebook and all kinds of social media that in theory allow us to stay connected with people over longer distances, they also don't allow us to have the full rich connection that we typically would have face to face. And I actually think that the technology that we're working with and we're creating and innovating has the potential to facilitate social connection in person that can go beyond what it is right now. But we just have to ask, what kind of social connection? Should it be more of the same thing, where it's these social media sites that get filled with a lot of angry conversations and a lot of hate? Or do we need to create tools that encourage people to see each other more fundamentally for who we really are, and to see past those angry messages, and see past the skin, and see how we connect on a deeper level? Yes, I think so. Art has long been kind of the first step that we need to make. It's often when we try to innovate, we think we know what we want, and we go after that thing that we think is the right answer. And art is the only way that we can really escape that system of perpetuating the same thing, where the inventions that we're trying to create are just building into the same system that already exists. So I think art allows us to escape that and to start to look towards a future that we don't already know, that we can't even imagine yet. And I think that imagination is essential to moving towards a future that's not just more of the same and more faster and more busy, but more of what we really need as humans.